Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Body Cleanse Your Mind focus group. I'm so excited to talk to you today about what we're doing and talk to you about doTERRA's Cleanse and Restore and why it's my absolutely favorite cleanse that I've ever come across. And I'm going to talk to you in detail about why it works so well and how I can really help you with your weight loss goals this year. But also, we're going to talk while you're in this focus group, because those of you that are joining us for the first time and you haven't maybe tried this yet, we're going to offer you a lot of support. So if you are a current customer of mine, don't worry. I will be sharing this in my customer page so that you can get all the juicy details on how we're doing this. But I will be sharing this for my new customers and my new health coaches, new customers. And this is something that we're really excited about sharing in our private group to give brand new people the support that they need. So I'm going to start off. I'm going to introduce myself just a little bit. My name is Melody Watts, and I have been involved in alternative medicine and cleansing for about 20 years. My background is chiropractic and alternative medicine clinics. I have 10 years clinical experience, and I have 6 years essential oil experience. And I actually train doctors how to use the doTERRA cleanse and doTERRA essential oils in practice. And I have helped thousands of people work this cleanse and get great results. And I do it with a holistic approach. We focus on not just the cleanse, but also meal planning. And we do a lot of mindset focusing so that we can help you get your mind wrapped around detoxing and really getting the results that you want and sticking to your goals. There's a lot of reasons why people don't stick to their goals, and so much of it is psychological. So we're going to give you a lot of really great tools on helping you reach your goals this year. So I'm going to jump right in to doTERRA. And those of you that don't know about doTERRA yet, doTERRA means gift of the earth. And doTERRA was started actually about 10 years ago. And doTERRA actually is an amazing company that sources from indigenous regions, and they do third-party testing. There's CPTG, which is certified pure therapeutic grade, and their oils are safe. The ones that are labeled safe to ingest, you can actually take internally as well in small medicinal doses. So doTERRA has some very incredible pure oils, and I've tried a lot of different essential oils. I've tried oils labeled organic, oils labeled therapeutic grade. I've tried every brand out there, and due to my sensitive immune system, doTERRA oils have worked the absolute best for me. Their consistency, their commitment to quality, their sourcing, and the heart of the company is what I really love about doTERRA. So that's why I choose to work with doTERRA and promote doTERRA essential oils. So let's just briefly cover what an essential oil is. Essential oils are aromatic compounds that come from the leaves, stems, barks, and flowering and buds of plants and even roots. And they actually protect the plant against invaders. They do a lot of things. They protect the plant. They actually attract pollinators as well. And they protect the plant's cells, which is really a phenomenal thing because they actually can protect our cells as well. There's a lot of research on essential oils, and I'm not going to share that with you here, but just know that everything that we do in doTERRA is backed by science, and that they're continually researching what they do, and that you can find research on essential oils at your fingertips. So I'm going to show you this picture right here. This is a picture of an essential oil leaf, and that right there, that little white sac you see is an essential oil sac. And that contains peppermint. And as you can see, the little hairs are there to protect the oil sac. And if the hairs get disturbed and the oil sac ruptures, then what happens is you smell that peppermint, but it also goes in to help repair the damage done to the plant. Okay? So they have many, many things that they can do, and we are focusing on cleansing today, and we're also going to be talking a little bit about emotional support as well, what they can do to your cells and what they can do to their frequencies and energy systems in your body. So we're going to talk about how to use them aromatically, topically, and internal. We're going to talk about sourcing. Okay, we source all over the world in 46 different countries. Our sourcing is indigenous, and that means that we get the plant where it grows best, where it has the highest level of chemical constituents for the best results. So when you're looking at a frankincense, you're looking at the highest levels of alpha pinene of any other frankincense. We have 4 different species, and we have first rights to the tier grade 1 tiers of the frankincense resin, which is where all those therapeutic properties are. So I've actually done a lot of comparing with different essential oil companies. Most do not release their test results. doTERRA does. There's good reason why others don't. Some do, and I've noticed that the ones that do, I've compared the chemical constituents, and doTERRA's are higher every time. So I love that we are using high quality, high potent essential oils. And we are 84% exclusive, meaning that we get when we source these oils, we have exclusive rights to these certain growers. So, of course, the testing is incredible. I talked to you guys a little bit about that already, but you're not going to have to worry about fragrances, extra ingredients, or fillers, or anything like that. They're free of pesticides and other chemical residues. That's why we call them beyond organic, because we actually test the final product. Not only do some of the places we source from not have organic standards, many of our products could say organic, but because we wanted uniform and because CPTG is a higher standard than organic, we just label our CPTG, because testing the final product is truly more effective and more thorough than actually just testing beforehand. Not only do we also work with growers that are sure to make sure that no residues and things come in contact, pesticides or anything like that come in contact with the soil or the plants. They go to as far as our rose growers in Bulgaria don't even let car exhaust get near their roses. They actually take them out on a buggy, a horse buggy, so that they're not getting any residue or air pollution on their leaves. That's how important quality is to these farmers. And I love that doTERRA is contracted with these farmers, that if we test the final product and it meets our standards, we buy it. If it doesn't meet our standards, we don't have to buy it, because we don't actually own the farms, which is different than a lot of different companies, because some companies do own their own farms, and they kind of just have to use whatever their farms produce. I also love doTERRA for their co-impact sourcing. As you can see here, this is our vetiver sourcing. And on the right there are the locals getting water from their new well, not having to get water out of a hole anymore and walk 3 hours a day. And these are the kind of things that doTERRA does in their communities, is they have these incredible co-impact sourcing and healing hands foundation donations, and this is something that I'm heavily a part of donating to and involved in. So when you're supporting doTERRA, just know that you are supporting people to be empowered as well. Okay, so we're going to go right into the cleanse. Okay, so with doTERRA, what we're going to be focusing on today is the bottom 4 things, okay, on this, but mostly reducing toxic load and rest and stress management. Those are the areas where I feel like I can have the biggest impact on people. And all of these areas are super important for your health. And I also feel like these can be done. This is such a gentle but powerful cleanse that this cleanse can be done while making lifestyle habits that aren't dramatic, right? So, and we can do some of these lifestyle habits one at a time. I truly believe that people work so much better when they just change their course a few percentages. They will have such a better result than if you just completely alter the course of your life all at once. I know when I started, reducing my dairy intake, I started just using almond milk, and that was the only thing I changed. And I just changed a few things in my diet, and it wasn't this huge, big lifestyle thing for me. And so I was able to stick with it. Now, because of some things I've done to be able to repair my gut with my functional medicine doctor and some things that I've had to go through, I can actually have dairy now with food enzymes, and I do fine. But in the beginning, it caused a lot of inflammation for me, okay? So we're going to talk just about some of those lifestyle habits that you can implement that aren't going to be outrageous, but you're still going to get fantastic results, okay? So we're focusing right now on reducing the toxic load. I'm just going to move this out of there so you guys don't see that. I don't know if it was showing up on your screen or not. Okay, so we're going to focus on this. We have really been bombarded, even in the last 5 years, with environmental toxins. The EPA has recently loosened a lot of their regulations on pollutants, and we just are seeing that there's not a lot of regulation, and people are able to just kind of, dump pesticides and herbicides really anywhere they'd like. And there's just not a lot of environmental cleansing that's going on. It just seems to be getting worse in our environment, and we're really seeing it affect people in a lot of different ways. And a lot of these toxins you can't really detect, but you can feel it in your body. And so that's one of the things we're going to be addressing today, is how we can combat some of these environmental toxins that we're creating in our environment. We're also going to talk about pathogens and oxidation. And oxidation is a process where our cells become damaged from the environment, from stress, from what we're eating. And when you damage your cells, you're causing an inflammatory response in your body. And so we really want to help you focus on what we can do in these three areas to prevent and reduce and remove toxic load. Okay? So the exposure pathways, how do we get these toxins? Well, a lot of them, we breathe them in. I just bought a new car, and I can tell you that new car smell, there's no regulation on the toxins that they put in your car. And that new car smell that everybody loves is very toxic. They said something, I think I read something when I was looking it up, something like 3,000 carcinogens are put in your cars. And it can take several months for the off-gassing from all those toxins and synthetic materials to actually get out. And so I ended up putting, charcoal bags, an air purifier. I wear a mask in my car because it just gives me headaches. Some people, they don't notice the toxic load until their body's actually breaking down or they're tired, and sometimes they just don't even know what it is. And so sometimes we just are around these toxins and we have no idea how it's affecting us. So lungs is a big way. We breathe in these toxins. GI tract, so what we're eating, what we're ingesting, medications we're taking, water we're drinking, all affects our GI tract. And then our skin. The skin is a way where you touch things, you bring in chlorine and these kind of things into your skin when you're cleaning, lotions, perfumes, self-tanner, there's makeup, all these kind of things, cosmetics that you're using on your skin. A lot of people are using carcinogens that, again, mutate your DNA, and we don't want those kind of things happening. Even deodorant, all these things we're using in our skin that our ancestors didn't use. And so we wonder why so many people have these problems and these health concerns these days, and our environment has so much to do with it. Okay, so the first thing we can do is avoid exposure. Okay, the second thing we can do is clear the air. So I have a diffuser in my car, but I also have a diffuser in my home. And this is a really great way to open airways and cleanse the air. These essential oils actually will attach to free radicals and cleanse the air. And you're also looking at environmental threats for like the On Guard. This can help cleanse the air of germs and things that can be, that we can actually inhale through our nasal passageway or through our lungs. So these are great oils to diffuse. Another thing you can do is use clean products. So this is a big one when I'm working with people that just have a lot of health concerns. This is a big thing that we do is we look at the products they're using. Are there carcinogens? Are there fragrances? Are there endocrine disruptors? And 9 times out of 10 there are. And so we like to switch things over to a much more natural alternative so that people can, they don't have to worry about what they're using on their body. Okay. So we're also going to support defensive functions in the body. So this is our foundational nutritional support in doTERRA. And this consists of 3 supplements: the vitamins, the minerals, the omegas, and the antioxidants. Okay. So we're going to talk a little bit about the primary pathways. I'll get back to the supplements in a moment, but our primary detox pathways go through our liver. That's the primary pathway, okay, liver, and then that eliminates to the kidneys, and then finally the colon, okay? And then the secondary pathway is actually the lungs and the skin. So when we start to see our lungs and skin express in negative ways, our first pathway is not really functioning well, okay? So we want to focus on the first pathway, and then we can focus on the secondary pathway, or we can actually do both at the same time. So let's clean the house. We're going to activate, we're going to open up the windows, we're going to reset, clean out the clutter, and then we're going to renew, organize what's left through this supplement process and essential oil process. So let's look at the gastrointestinal pathways and how we can clean that out. Okay, so our gastrointestinal tract. Uh-oh, got a little bit of a frozen screen here. Hang on one second. Okay, here we go. So 70% of the body's immune system is actually in the gut, according to a study done by UCLA. And this is really important because our immune system is what gets us down, right? It's what keeps us down, and it's what also keeps us going. And our immune system, when it gets out of whack, can also affect many things like mental focus, like our ability to sleep, like our hormone cycle. So our immune system is so central to every part of our health, and it doesn't just affect when you get the occasional, germ or threat that's affecting your body, or maybe respiratory issues. It's not just about that. It's also about how we're functioning on a much deeper level. Okay. So our pH in our stomach is 1.3. That's very acidic. Most probiotics cannot handle that kind of stomach acid. So our probiotics are actually double encapsulated to not release until they get into your small intestine and large intestine. Now, why is this important? Well, the surface area of the GI tract is equivalent to that of a tennis court. So we have a tight little bundle of organs right in our gut that are massive. Okay, if you think about the size of a tennis court, you think how much you're dealing with. We want to make sure that stays clean and functioning really, really well. And so when we talk about the probiotics reaching this area, it's so important because that is where the bulk of our digestion is. Now, don't get me wrong, you have to have great hydrochloric acid and you have to have enzymes in the stomach. We're going to talk about that too. That's the precursor to great absorption and digestion and reducing the inflammatory response in the body. But we also want to make sure that those probiotics are making it into this area where many times it's been disrupted through medication use or antibiotics and things like that. Okay. So if you look at these pictures, these are actually pictures of our lining of our intestines really, really blown up. And you'll see the villi, the epithelial cells, and the microvilli. And this is where our body absorbs, okay? This is where our body takes the food and gets the messages and puts it into our body, is through this process. And it's super important that there's a good chemistry for it to happen, okay? We want everything running really smoothly. And those microbes, those healthy microbes, they not only create the neurological response, they're responsible for the neurological things that are happening in the gut, which there's more neurotransmitters in the gut than there are in the brain. So you can imagine how important is it for these microbes to be there to make sure that everything is running smoothly and that our nervous system and that our cells are functioning and communicating well with each other. This is such an important part of the process. So we take Terrazyme, and Terrazyme has hydrochloric acid in it. It has food enzymes that help break down the proteins and the fats and the starches that are really going to help you absorb what you need to and break down also what can sometimes be missing in the gut. Again, from just environmental things we're eating. Also, if something is cooked, it doesn't have enzymes in it. So if you're not eating raw fruits and vegetables all the time, you're missing those enzymes that you need. Your body does produce some enzymes, but they decline as we age, and even adverse childhood events can actually reduce the amount of enzymes that you produce. So if you had a traumatic childhood, which a lot of people do, a lot of people go through things that are traumatic in their life. I think everybody's probably got a story from childhood that they could say that wasn't very positive. Those kind of negative experiences actually really affect your gut on an emotional level, because when you have emotional issues, where's the first place you often feel it is in your gut. And you better believe that your emotions affect your digestion and that your emotions affect your health. So this is a really important thing to take. So I recommend everyone take food enzymes just for proper digestion and for the metabolism of foods and for the absorption and to reduce the inflammatory response of certain proteins that people are eating that aren't as healthy sometimes, okay? So here's what the Terrazyme looks like, and this is what it does. It actually has a lot of lactase in it to help break down those milk sugars, which is really important. It also has an anti-gluten enzyme blend, which I think is really important to break those down. So keep in mind that this Terrazyme is really, really a foundational part of getting that gut working really well. Okay, so let's talk about the microflora. Friendly bacteria help with digestion. They prevent growth of harmful pathogens. They communicate with endothelial cells for immune response, and that right there is the key. So I recommend everyone take this PB Assist so that we can get those probiotics that we need. So here's all the threats that we have to our microflora, okay? Unhealthy diet, we talked about this, physical stressors, even emotional stressors, antibiotics, all these things can really be a threat. There are even some doctors that will say, it's actually in total agreement when you talk to a gastrointestinal doc, which I've seen one for my children, is that microflora, sometimes when you take antibiotics, sometimes it is never, ever the same. So, having something that can at least restore some strains to the gut, okay, is such an important thing to have. So if you've ever been on antibiotics, if you've ever traveled out of the country, or even just lived on a farm where you're around animals and things like that, or if you've had an unhealthy diet or binge, these kind of things, all these things can throw off the microflora. And so this PB Assist is such a great thing. Now, we're going to throw in some menu items to help also increase your microflora, different foods that can help with microflora and things like that. But this is a really great place to start, is with that PB Assist. This is what can happen when you have compromised microflora: digestive discomfort, food sensitivities, GI challenges. Fatigue really is a big trigger when you don't have a great microflora, okay? And underactive immunity, because you don't have that great communication lubricating the gut with those microflora that help communicate with the epithelial cells, okay? And it directly affects your mood. People don't realize how important mood is when it comes to gut health, or how important gut health is when it comes to mood. We talk about those neurotransmitters in the gut that directly affect the brain. In fact, so much, it's about 70% of your serotonin and dopamine is produced in the gut. And what happens is, if you don't have great gut health, you're actually more prone to addiction, because your body and your brain seeks to have higher dopamine and higher serotonin levels. So you actually crave different things to help replace that. So you might want sugar, or you might want things where you've got to get that serotonin and dopamine up, and you're doing it through different ways. And so it can really cause addiction issues if you don't have great microflora, okay? So we're going to reset and renew. So what does the GX Assist do? This is a new supplement we're talking about right now. This pulls out the weeds. This helps clean out the gunk that just shouldn't be in the digestive tract, okay? So we're just going to reset. It supports healthy microbial balance. It helps purify and cleanse the digestive system. The essential oil blend is oregano, melaleuca, lemon, lemongrass, peppermint, and thyme. And it also has caprylic acid in it, which is really, really a great gut cleanser, okay? When you look at oregano and melaleuca combined, there's some really great research on gut integrity, and also what it can do to break down the cell walls of intestinal threats and biofilm of intestinal threats in the gut. So this is a really, really great combo. So this is something we recommend for the middle 10 days of your 30-day cleanse. And it also does make it all the way to the large intestine, because it's enteric coated. Okay, so then we're going to go in there and we're going to plant new grass. Now, what's great about this probiotic, it also has prebiotics in it, which means that it kind of lays great soil for the probiotics to thrive. Okay. So this is what it looks like. That's not dye. That's actually the color of the prebiotic and probiotic itself, and the way that it's harvested and fermented and put in this double encapsulated prebiotic fiber. Okay. So this is, we've got 6 billion CFUs in this probiotic. So you've got a lot, 6 billion strains. That's really, really great. Colony family units is what CFU stands for. So now let's look at our endocrine pathways, okay? So we want to deep clean and get into our endocrine system, the liver and the kidneys and the lungs too. So remember, we talked about the colon, which we just covered. Now let's talk about the liver and the kidneys. Make sure those are looking good. So this is how we activate and renew the kidneys and liver. So the endocrine complex supports healthy cleansing and filtering functions of the liver, kidneys, colon, lungs, and skin. And it's targeted specifically for those organs. So what's in this? Well, we've got the things that are going to focus on the liver, we've got milk thistle, burdock, clove, dandelion root, garlic bud, red clover, flowering tops. These are really great and have been studied specifically for liver cleansing. And liver cleansing is just something really, because everything goes through the liver, everything needs to go there, and that's where our hormones metabolize, and so much happens in the liver. For example, our thyroid hormone converts from T3 to T4 in the liver. So it's so important that if the liver is feeling overburdened, certain things just don't function well. So this is why we cleanse the liver. And not only that, you're going to have some die-off from that GX Assist just in the gut, and that's going to need to cleanse through the liver as well, okay? And so this is a great supplement to help just kind of bind to some of that yucky die-off that we're going to be cleansing out of our system. So you can look here in the kidneys. We've got burdock as well as clove, dandelion root, Turkish rhubarb stem. Really, really great, healthy herbs and roots to help clean those kidneys. And then psyllium husk is more of a fibrous type of supplement. And what this does is it helps just it works like kind of a broom, and it just attaches to the garbage and it just helps pull it out, okay? Marshmallow root there, you'll see that. And then the lungs, we've got osha root and safflower petals, and these are really, really great for cleansing the lungs and really targeting that. And then we've got skin, kelp, milk thistle seed, burdock root, clove bud, and garlic. These are all really great herbs for the skin, have been studied for their ability to help cleanse the skin. Okay, then we've got Zendocrine Detoxifying Blend. This is essential oil, so this is how this is different. This helps really target the free radicals, but it also helps increase your body's chemistry to deal with toxins, okay? So when we look at tangerine pill, one of the ingredients in here, it's rich in purifying limonene, and limonene helps with the production of glutathione, and glutathione is our body's greatest antioxidant that binds to toxins. It breaks down into enzymes and binds to toxins and pulls them out. All citrus oils are good for this, and we actually have you increase your citrus intake when you're detoxing because of this. This is going to help with brain energy. Glutathione is great for boosting brain energy. Rosemary is awesome for the liver. It also has some steroidal structure, so it's going to help with a healthy inflammatory response in the body. Geranium is phenomenal for liver and kidneys. Geranium helps with the progesterone in the body, that adrenal, aldosterone, and the progesterone balance in the body. So when you get stressed, some of us will produce less progesterone because our adrenals are stealing it, okay? And so what we want to do is bring that geranium in to help cleanse the liver and help boost progesterone levels, okay, if that's what's needed in the body. What I love about the oils is they have innate intelligence to them. These plants have innate intelligence to them. These oils have innate intelligence. And if your body needs more of something, it's going to help with your body's natural ability to help create a natural hormone response in the body. Okay. Juniper berry supports kidney function, and cilantro leaf supports elimination processes. And it's been studied for its chelation type of properties as well. Okay. Now, one thing I'm just going to cover, cilantro does help with some heavy metal detoxification. It's important that your gut is in good shape because you don't want to detox a lot of heavy metals and then have like a leaky gut type of thing happen where these heavy metals then are just going right back into your bloodstream. So we do want to make sure that the gut is really cleansed and really doing well as we go to take this. Now, this is a tiny amount. So the amount that this is going to be detoxing out of your body at once is going to be a very, very healthy amount. So you don't have to worry about, some big heavy metal dump in your body. It's just going to work on a very, very natural, healthy, gentle level. So, but I'm talking about people that decide to do big, heavy metal cleanses. This is the kind of cleanse you want to do before you do something like that because you've got all aspects of it. So I see a lot of people get sick on cleanses, but they don't get sick on doTERRA's cleanse. Okay. Now some people might have a little bit of a detox feeling where they're feeling a little achy or tired the first few weeks because they've got some die-off. That just means we need to increase this endocrine complex, increase some citrus oils, things like that. Okay, so now we're going to clean out the cellular pathways. Why is this so important? So this is actually the cell. It's like it's got its own little engine to it, okay? And so we want to go in with the good and out with the bad. So we want to be breathing clean air, drinking clean water, thinking good thoughts because our emotions actually attach to the cell receptor sites and affect our DNA. Do you know there's research that shows that the predecessors of the Holocaust victims actually inherited emotional trauma from their ancestors. So we know by scientific fact that our emotions are part of our DNA, and that's our DNA right there in the middle of the cell. So let's look at these. So what do cells do? They make copies of themselves. Whether they're healthy or they're not healthy, cells duplicate. So we want to make sure we're duplicating healthy cells, and our body regenerates healthy cells. So our DNA sits right in the middle of that, and everything we breathe, eat, think, and do either triggers good DNA or it triggers bad DNA, okay? There's a whole lot of research on that. I could go into epigenetics. That's a whole nother webinar itself. Maybe we'll cover someday. That would be fun, wouldn't it? Okay, so here's what's cool. What's great about certain cells when they're sick and they come in contact with things like frankincense, they actually self-destruct or create apoptosis. And this is a phenomenal process, innate process that these oils help do to unhealthy cells. We want unhealthy cells to die, and then we want the healthy cells to duplicate and regenerate. And frankincense helps with that process, okay? So we're going to talk about cellular stasis in the body and our DNA. Biogenesis, that's where we're recreating healthy cells. Apoptosis is where the unhealthy cells are dying. That's what we want. Most people, this is not what's happening, okay? So how do we get this? We're going to reduce our toxic load, okay? And we're going to talk about free radicals and oxidation. So what is oxidation? Well, when we get around all these environmental toxins, they're unstable molecules, and what they do is these unstable molecules are unpaired, okay? These negative free radicals, they're unpaired, and they steal electrons from stable molecules, and that's what's called oxidation. So when you cut an apple and you see it turn brown, that's what you're seeing. You're seeing damage to the cells because these unstable molecules want to attach to the healthy molecules. So here's how you can get free radical damage. Sunlight causes it, radiation, pollution, toxins, smoking cigarettes. Just one inhalation produces 1 quadrillion free radicals per inhalation. So you can imagine how incredibly toxic this is for your body, okay? So there's intrinsic free radicals as well. So stress, being sick, inflammation, eating, breathing, exercise, all affect that cell engine, which is called the mitochondria, okay? So energy production, this is the mitochondria. So this is your cell's engine. Again, we want in with good oxygen, good food, clean water, and then we want this process of energy called ATP. We want it to get rid of the free radicals, which is the negative electron. That's the little E negative that you see there. So if our cells are working properly, we're creating energy in the cell. This is what's happening, and that's a healthy ATP process, okay? So, and that's basically just your energy in the gut. So here's what we see. We have all these free radicals around us all the time, and it wants to attach to our cells that have positive ions in them. And so we want to stable those molecules so that they have extra antioxidants so that they will attach to the free radicals instead of attaching to our cells. So how can you get an antioxidants? Great food have antioxidants. Fruit and vegetables contain antioxidants as long as they're organic. If they're not, then they're covered in pesticides and they've been basically neutralized already, and they're not going to produce the antioxidants that you need, okay? And then we've got endogenous antioxidants. Those are the ones that are made in the body. So our body actually does produce some of its own antioxidants, right? We weren't just made to just be, we do age, right? But this is actually the aging process, and the antioxidants actually slow down the aging process. So how we're going to manage this toxic oxidation from our environment: eat more organic fruits and veggies. We're going to take our Lifelong Vitality Pack, which we're going to talk about in a minute. We're going to support the liver, and we're going to use DDR prime complex. So let's talk about that. So DDR prime complex was specifically formulated to deal with this free radical damage and to help really have this healthy response to these free radicals. So, and while also helping your cells create that biogenesis we talked about. Okay, so here's the essential oils found in here. And in particularly, frankincense, wild orange, lemongrass, and thyme all create apoptosis in unhealthy cells. And frankincense in particular helps regenerate copies in healthy cells. So you're looking at a very incredible blend here. Summer savory, clove, and niaouli are also incredible oils that support the cellular response in the body and turn on healthy DNA, which is what we want, right? We want our epigenetics to be strong. We want our kids to help reverse some of these genetic expressions that we have that are negative, right? Where it talks about in Time magazine about reversing genetic expression. Here's one of the ways that you can do that is by taking DDR prime, okay? Spring clean is hard work, so don't forget to hydrate, okay? And lemon essential oil is going to be a really helpful part of this because it's going to help increase your glutathione. And so we want to create those enzymes in our body that are breaking down and binding to all those toxins that we're now dumping out of our organs and our colon, right? So lemon is going to be a big thing. And 2 drops 5 times a day when you're cleansing is a really good number, okay? So this is what the spring clean looks like. Sorry, this is we created this PowerPoint a few years ago, but it is still the same principle, so we use it. So what are you going to get when you join doTERRA and you do this cleanse? When you join this private group, what you're going to get is meal planning. We're going to go in there and post meals. We're also going to get on there and do lives every day, and you're going to get to hear all about how to help with your meal planning tips, what you can do to increase cellular function, what you can do to increase your detox, and motivation to get you through each day, okay? We're gonna help you maximize your detox. We're gonna also do some training. I'm gonna get on there and do some lives on how to reset your reticular activating system. This is actually a proven scientific process in your body that when you have negative thought patterns, your body actually looks for truth or proof to prove that negative thought pattern true, even if that negative thought pattern is a lie. So if, your negative thought pattern is, well, I'll never lose weight. Or if that negative thought pattern is, I just don't stick to cleanses, or I just can't do it, or stress just gets to me, or I'm not enough, or I'm a loser, whatever you're saying to yourself and your subconscious, that's your reticular activating system. You'll actually look for evidence to prove it true. So we're going to look at how to reset this. I'm going to show you guys how to do that. It's awesome. We've got it down to a science. And also we're going to use a few tools like EFT and affirmations and a few things like changing rules and disempowering beliefs that no longer serve us. So EFT is emotional freedom technique. It's a tapping technique that you can use on acupressure points on your body that will help reset the energetic emotional patterns in your body. It's awesome. I've done it for years and it works really well. Training on trapped emotions and triggers, bringing some of those to your awareness and some coping strategies and even different oils you can use to help shift emotional tones in the body. As emotional tones attach to different parts of the body, when we feel things like anger or sadness or grief, it actually attaches to every cell receptor site in our body. We feel that everywhere, right? And so what essential oils do is when we put different essential oils on that negate that emotion or have the opposite frequency of that emotion, then we can go in and clean those cell receptor sites of those negative feelings and emotions. And it works really fast. So there's some studies, for example, on Forgive oil that an oncology clinic did that was integrated, and they diffused Forgive essential oil. And what they found is that it really reduced feelings of irritability and annoyance. And so this is something that is really awesome for families. Anytime there's like negative air in our home, we're all over diffusing Forgive and Wild Orange. Those are our 2 favorites. And it can shift the tone. It directly affects brain chemistry. And it's so awesome. And I love that they did these studies in this oncology clinic to prove that it actually does work. So it's pretty neat stuff. It affects the limbic system in the brain, and it just helps people shift. And it's funny too, because sometimes when you're in a bad mood, you don't want to not be in a bad mood because you're in a bad mood for a reason, right? And so it's really easy to just go, well, I'm just going to put these oils in here, but I'm going to stay in a bad mood. And then you just can't stay in a bad mood because it's like walking through a forest. Okay. So it's awesome. We love it. And it's really calming. There's a lot of different oils we use. That's just one example. So we're going to do some easy exercises. We've got some amazing trainers in this group. Megan Skirha is a holistic yoga therapist, and she's going to be going in and doing some lives for you on how to do some really great exercises while complementing your detox. And then some of you that want a little bit more, we'll give you some ideas on what you can do to just increase your heart rate and get things going. And a game plan with goals that last. So when you leave this, we want to just help you create habits. Okay, that's our goal, is really just help you create healthy habits that are going to work. And that's why we're doing this group for a good 6 weeks. so that you can really get what you need. We're going to be doing this group through the end of February. Okay, so this is a 30-day program. You can repeat a 30-day cleanse for up to 3 months in a row, 1 to 2 times per year if you want to. And here's how you get started, okay? So you join us as a wellness advocate or a wholesale customer. More likely is you're going to join as a wholesale customer. And you get the same discounts as a wellness advocate that sells doTERRA, but you are in no contract to resell. You're just getting a wholesale membership like you would at Costco. Okay, and you can order your products directly through doTERRA's website. You'll have your own login and everything like that. And we have a phenomenal loyalty rewards program that is optional. But basically, if you order monthly, you can get an additional 10 to 30% back and free shipping credits. So if you decide you love our vitamins and minerals and you love what they're doing to fill the nutritional deficiencies in your body, and I didn't get to talk about that a lot, but I'm going to here in a second. If you're loving that Lifelong Vitality Pack and your DDR Prime and the PB Assist and the Terrazyme, well, you can get it at an even bigger discount when you order it monthly. And you can rotate in and out what supplements you want. So you don't have to order them every single month. You can change it and customize it every single month. You can cancel it anytime and still have your membership. The Loyalty Rewards program is just a benefit of having a membership, additional benefit. And make sure that you talk to the person who invited you to this webinar tonight so that you can get that personalized support. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to join. There's a couple different kits, but I'm going to focus on the Cleanse and Restore kit because I think this is a phenomenal kit to start with. Almost everybody I talk to doTERRA, I start them on some sort of a cleanse kit. And tonight, if you enroll in the next 3 days, so you get your starter kit. The starter kit's $245, okay? And it's the Lifelong Vitality Pack is a month's supply and the Terrazyme is a month's supply. Everything else will last you longer than a month. So when you go to reorder, like if you decide you want the Lifelong Vitality Pack, there's actually 2 versions. There's a $79 version, which is what you see here of the Lifelong Vitality Pack. And then there's a $59 version, which is just the vitamins and the minerals and the omegas. If you do that, that one's $59. And then you can add up to 3 different supplements for only $20 a piece. So when you go to renew and you go to order next month and you just want to get the vitamins and 1 or 2 things, it's going to be a lot even less expensive than this so that you can just keep on going. And so this is like your jumpstart kit. And then next month, you're looking at probably spending less than $100. But here's an awesome promo. If you do a starter kit in the next 3 days, this promo code is going to last you. Okay, so today's the 16th. So if you order by January 20th, actually, and you enter this promo code that you see at the bottom, and I will post it in the group for you, this little promo code in purple, you will get the opportunity to get $100 in free product credits from doTERRA as long as you spend $100 the following month. So some of you, you might be joining with a different promo code if you're working with a different rep. Anybody that joins in the next 3 days gets this promo code and you can get that 100 in free. Okay, so make sure that you're taking advantage of that. And this 100, this New Year, New You, any event that you attend that's a New Year, New You promo through the end of February, you have the opportunity to do this, but you just have to make sure that your person has a promo code for those days that you enroll. And the reason I'm saying that is because I know a lot of people are going to see these after the 16th and they're going to think they missed out on the opportunity. Just talk with your rep and they can get you a promo code. But for the people that are watching this live, you have 3 days on this promo code to get that New Year, New You promo. Okay? So Loyalty Rewards program, like I said, you can get up to 30% back in free product when you decide to get on that program. Cancel anytime, no obligation. You'll still have your membership that gives you 25% off. Okay? So I am going to go ahead and stop the recording and open up to some questions. And those of you that are joining us later, or those of you that are joining us new, let your rep know that you are new, that you're wanting to get enrolled, and that you're wanting to get your starter kit, and that you want to be a part of our secret group so that you can get the support that you need. So I look forward to talking to you all and working with you all and seeing exciting changes in your health in 2018.